Hey everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home. We are here tonight for Messy Kitchen Monday. We hope that everybody has had a wonderful Monday so far. Columbus Day, I know that a lot of you probably were off today from work. I was not, but our office was closed and we took the opportunity. This is our second year in a row at my office where we do employee training, and it was very beneficial. We did a lot of stuff that we don't normally get to do, and it was company-wide. So hopefully you had a fantastic Columbus Day, and we are glad that you are here with us tonight and have joined us on the Messy Kitchen. As I told you last week, we are doing a push the next several weeks for casseroles and casserole type dishes. Casseroles are a big deal in the South. You know, that when we talk about gifting food, a casserole is a common gift food item. When there are births, deaths, unfortunately, Southern women historically like to take a good old casserole. So this week what we're doing is something that's for breakfast but can be eaten any time of the year. I know that in the past we've taken polls and things like that about what you guys wanted to see, and breakfast was one of the things, was one of the items. So I'm pleased to bring you tonight a very easy breakfast casserole. And what's great about this breakfast casserole is you can make it, as the girls say, basic, which is plain, but it's not really basic. It's very flavorful and very good. Or you can add some spice to it. You can use mild or hot sausage in it. You can throw in peppers and onions. You can kind of make it your own. So one of the things that I like to do here at the Buttered Home is not only teach you the basics of cooking, the good old-fashioned basics of cooking, but to share recipes with you that you can take and make them your own. So this is a very, what I like to call cheaty type of breakfast casserole. And the main reason is because we use WOP biscuits. Now, if you don't know what a WOP biscuit is, I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you. A WOP biscuit is a canned biscuit. And the reason why they're called WOP biscuits is because most times you have to whop them on the counter to get that vacuum seal to bust open. Hopefully we won't have to do that tonight, but if we do, just know it's going to sound like a gun going off. So that's where we are. But first we're going to get started, and I'm going to preheat my oven to 425 degrees. Okay, another thing about this casserole is it cooks up in 25 minutes at 425. Now your sausage, we're going to brown it first, and we're just going to do the basic recipe tonight, and I'll update that for you tonight in the comments, and I'll do a nice recipe card graphic for you tomorrow here on the Facebook page. So if you want the recipe, you can get it two ways. Also, if you want to see how we make it, you can go to the videos section over on the left hand side of the Buttered Home page, and you can see every Messy Kitchen Monday we've done. You know, later, probably first of the year, I'm going to try to compile like a digital cookbook of recipes that I've done here on the Messy Kitchens. So we'll be taking a poll for names for that later on. And so these recipes are going to be exclusive to Messy Kitchen, and that's why. So I'm going to give you the good old panoramic view and move you. And then get my camera turned. All right, and you'll see I just have a pound of just plain sausage in my pan, and we're gonna brown that, and it should not take it long. Now, sausage, I love sausage. I love link sausage, I love patty sausage, but I really, really love ground sausage. So this recipe calls for just ground sausage, just kind of lightly browned. Now, Sausage, pork in general is one of those things that you want to make sure that you have cooked all the way. But the good thing about this recipe is that you're going to cook it twice. So if it's a little pink whenever you brown it on the stove, no worries, because it's going to cook in a really hot oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Now, of course, nothing goes as planned. So I'm going to let the sausage sit for a minute. I'm using a really, really thick pan on my medium burner. And I think what I may do is swap it, just so we can kind of speed things up a little bit. I love y'all, but you know, I don't really want to be on here any longer than I have to, simply because I can't imagine y'all want to hear me talk all night long. I don't. So this recipe is really simple. It calls for a pound of ground sausage, 4 eggs, a cup of milk. I use 2 different kinds of cheeses. I use about a heaping half a cup of cheddar and a heaping half a cup of mozzarella. Certainly you can use whatever cheese you like, but as I said before, this is the basic recipe. So I'm just going to lightly spray a casserole dish. And while we're browning that sausage, we're going to go ahead and open the canned biscuits. And of course, nothing goes as planned. There you go. I hope everybody heard that pop. That was the whop of the whop biscuit. All right, so what I'm using are jumbo biscuits, and these are good because they kind of blow up when you cook them. No, it's fine. Sorry, my stage hand was asking me if she needed to help me do something, and we're good. Anyway, sausage is starting to brown nicely, so I'm just going to give it a stir. And we're going to take these and we're going to split them. I like to get the ones that have the flaky layers, and we're going to split them in half. Just split them in half, and you're just going to lay them in your dish and kind of overlap them, because this is going to make your crust. And you can do this prep work while you're browning your sausage. And the great thing about using this as your base is that it's not sticky, it's not gooey. You can move it around if you need to. So if you were to use a bigger pan than normal, you might could space them out a little bit better. If you're using a smaller pan like this one, you can kind of redirect how they're laying in the pan. Now you'll notice I didn't salt or pepper the sausage. This is a mild sausage, so it has seasonings in it. So make sure when you buy your sausage that it's not already seasoned. I always tell people that it's easier to add seasoning than it is to take it away. So this is a seasoned sausage that I'm using, so I'm not adding much of anything to it. Now the eggs and milk, you'll see me add a little bit to that. But we're just going to get these in here. And now, because these jumbo biscuits always come in 8, I'm always left with a little odd man here. So anywhere I see any holes, I'll just tear this apart and just kind of dot it in. And what that does is that creates kind of an even surface so that you can form like this layer with the sausage and the eggs. And the eggs cook up all nice and fluffy, and it almost makes it almost like a quiche. So that's why I say that this is just a basic recipe, because of course you could add any kind of peppers you like and cook those either with the sausage or by themselves. and onions. I'm really, 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 really excited about next week's casserole. It's one that I hope that all of you who've never eaten it or have never tried it will try. It has become a favorite at our house at Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it's going to kind of be our lead in to our holiday cooking. And I won't tell you what it is tonight. I'll leave you in great anticipation for another week. But it's one that when you hear what it is, you kind of go, that doesn't sound good at all. But it is. I mean, I have a friend who lives in South Alabama that if Danny and I go see them, one of the stipulations when I come is that I bring him this casserole. And they have a big crawfish boil every year, and I have to take two. I have to take one for the crawfish boil, and I have to take one for Tyler. And he, no lie, takes this casserole and he hides it. He hides it so nobody else will get in it. And that's not a lie. I'm not exaggerating at all. So now we're just going to drain the sausage. And I hope you guys can see this. I'm just kind of putting it over the top. Can you see it okay? Of the biscuits. And I'm using a pretty wide slotted spoon. Because as bad as I hate a messy kitchen, I hate washing dishes even worse. So getting the colander out is something, if I can get by without doing it, I'm gonna do it. That's one less dish I have to, and my spoiled self will say this, that's one less dish that I have to put in the dishwasher, and one less dish that my kids have to take out and put up. Because that's their job, is the dishwasher. Alright, so now we've got the sausage in there in a good single layer. Oh, you're going to get it? Mm-hmm. Okay. And next what I'm going to do, and I know this looks like more than a cup of milk, but it is actually a cup of milk, but if you'll notice, it's got 4 eggs in it. So I'm just going to, and I'm using a small fork for this because milk and eggs being whipped together tends to make a pretty big mess. Yep, see, there I go. Did it anyway. All right, let me get my salt. And I'm just going to put just a pinch of salt and just a couple of turns of pepper. Because this milk and egg mixture is going to fall down in the cracks here of the sausage, and it's going to cook up in these nice, beautiful pillows. Like I said, it's almost quiche-like. But it just kind of becomes the glue that holds everything together. So just as evenly as you can, we're just going to pour this over. And because we got that good layer of biscuits on the bottom, it's just going to kind of sit there. Now we just take the cheese, and according to Danny, the more the better. And like I said, I'm using 2 kinds of cheese. I'm using mozzarella and I'm using cheddar. And there, we've got it all our corners are covered. All our liquid is covered. And then we're just gonna pop this into a 425-degree oven for 25 minutes. Or until the top is bubbly and brown. So everybody's oven is different. Mine cooks it in about 20 to 25 minutes. Yours may take less, it may take more. So I always tell people just to kind of gauge what your oven does. if it cooks normally longer or shorter than a suggested recipe that you know that's tried and true, then you know you want to cook this a little bit shorter time. So of course I have one finished, and there we are. And let me get out of the light, and I'm going to get a knife and cut it. So that you can see the pretty layers inside. And everything's just kind of sliding around. Okay, but there you go. You've got that biscuit dough, which has a layer there underneath, and you have the sausage mixed in, and the eggs just kind of melt away into the sausage, and you have this beautiful layer of cheese that kind of fills in the gaps. So I like it just like this. Now, my family, well, 2 of the people in my family, let me correct that, like to put syrup on it. As if it's not fatty enough, we've got to add sugar to it. But it is good because it kind of, if you like the savory and the sweet together, it creates that beautiful symphony of flavor that you like if you like those 2 flavors together. So we're going to come over here. And I'm gonna move you back up. And so that is the breakfast casserole, the basic breakfast casserole, as my girls like to say. And I hope that you'll try it. Like I said, tonight I will probably put the basic recipe for the basic casserole in the comments here. And then I'll do a pretty little recipe card graphic for you tomorrow that you can save. Just a couple of reminders. We want you to be sure and be with us Wednesday night for our grocery store tips. We don't really know what we're doing right now, but I'm sure we'll come up with something. If you have any suggestions for grocery store tips, let us know. If there's something you want to see, and I'll be glad and go and hide out. Hold on, I got to pass this off. But without further ado, I had a great response yesterday for my new baby. And this is, well, we don't know who she is yet. But we like Butter, and we like Buttercup, and we like Phoebe. And we thought about Sugar. So we don't really know.
Right now we're calling her Nugget.
Right now Tanner is calling her Nugget. I don't love Nugget, but I've been calling her Phoebe. And see, she looked at me, so she thinks her name is Phoebe. But we don't know. It's been a while since we've actually had to give a dog an actual name. You know, Jasper, he goes by many names. He goes by Jasper, he goes by Bobby, he goes by Buddy. He can't hear, so this is the only name that he knows. But anyway, we're already just totally smitten with her. She did really good. She's only had a couple of accidents, but she's not completely made friends with Jasper and Polly yet, but it's coming. I mean, it's already better than we anticipated. So anyway, we're not going to keep you any longer. My family's ready to eat, and we're going to kind of settle down for the night. But we've got some really great things coming up. We hope that you'll visit the website. There'll be a new recipe out tomorrow on the website, so your visits there would be greatly appreciated. And we thank you from the Buttered Home. Y'all have a great night.
Bye.